Friday, October 6th, market analysis, Stan Ehrlich, and wow, do we have a big day in progress. We have, and you guys know I always start out with the stock market indexes. I'm starting out with the E-mini December futures contract. We have a bullish engulfing ER official buy signal at the moment. Now, this is critically important. We have to close higher than yesterday's close, or the whole signal is off. We don't have one. The green bar we have currently will disappear, and we're back to the head and shoulder top producing moves that we are already halfway down, or maybe a little bit more in progress to the supposed minimum downside objective, again, from these head and shoulder tops that all of the indexes have got. So is this a false buy signal? You cannot believe that. You have to believe that it's a good signal. It is October. It is in a support area. You'll see several pieces of evidence in the next few minutes about that. So this could be the bottom of the market before it actually rallies up, breaks above the neckline, which normally it wouldn't do already, and run into new historic highs maybe by the end of the year, which I've been thinking and expecting all along, whether we got down to 4,000 or lower during October and turn around. But here it is. This is the bullish engulfing. Next chart. I've got the S&P 500 spider. Of course, it's got a bullish engulfing right around the lows of the last previous 3 days in oversold conditions, in or almost in an area of support, not quite. So now the downside objective of 406 or so is in jeopardy, and I am already out of any shorts I would have had because it made higher highs after making new lows from the previous day when we were oversold within the last few days. This is an official ER buy signal at the moment. It has to close higher than yesterday's close, period. It'll stay green if that happens, and it'll either be a good signal in October or it won't. Next chart. Spider, 1 minute chart. This turns green the minute it creates a bullish engulfing ER buy signal, and it's run up really nicely so far. Next chart. We have an outside up day, but not an official buy signal on the QQQ's daily data. But here's a little twist in the situation, and that is there was a gap to close at higher levels, and it tried to close it only several days ago. Today, we are almost closing that gap finally, and remember, the NASDAQ or the Qs never did break out to the downside to begin with. There was a minor false breakout on September 7th, but it didn't stay below the neckline, therefore, no breakout on a closing basis. And even another attempt 4 days ago, 3 days ago, and now we're all the way back up to closing at a gap. I've got to watch very carefully what the market does if it closes the gap in the Qs and start to go back down again. That could throw me back into a bearish situation, but that's not happening. We've got the bullish engulfings, and that's it. This looks like the October lows, as far as I'm concerned, at this point in time with this kind of price action, period. Next chart. We got the 1 minute data on the QQQs, and you can see how it opened lower, dropped off and tested previous lows in the last few days, right in a little bit of support, and just took off like a bat out of you-know-where. So far so good in terms of bullish engulfings and buy signals. Next chart, DIA, same situation, and an official ER buy signal because we are turning green on the 1 minute data, which I normally don't show, not particularly necessary. But we do find these signals minute by minute, tick by tick. And our automated trading system, and I'll show you on the micro E-mini, the mess in a moment. Okay, December E-mini, Christmas contract, futures. got the buy signal. I am long ER1 as of 4,288 or so. Maybe should be considered 4,290. No big deal. And a great trade so far. Next chart, the Russell 2000 1-minute chart. They all look very much the same, of course. And once it turns green on the 1-minute data, we're long ER3 because that's when it got above the previous day's high. Next chart is the Russell 2000 daily data. And here we have a bullish engulfing green on the daily data chart. I pretty much always start with daily data charts and then go down to the shorter time frames for detailed information. And this corroborates, it's just period. A bullish engulfing buy signal in oversold conditions and a buy. Next chart. The December NASDAQ futures contract never, like the QQQs, never broke out to the downside on the head and shoulder. The pattern's there, but it never started. So you had to close below the neckline, which never happened. And here we're having a bullish engulfing. Now, it's not an official buy signal, but it's about as close as you can get. Pretty close. And it could completely ruin in the next few days to maybe a week. It depends upon how much higher we go and how quickly. If we do, it could completely ruin the pattern. So next chart, DIA, bullish engulfing, very strong. We have the neckline way up here, and the DIA double bottomed out over 3 days. Very minor pattern, but everything is there for the October lows. I got to tell you, I'm kind of excited about this. It may get a little tricky in the next couple of weeks, but so far I'm hitting the bell, ringing the bell. This is it. Next, NASDAQ. No bullish engulfing, yes, but not an ER buy signal officially. And here we are back to the December E-mini. Let's go look at the MES. Now, this is the ER1 strategy running on TradeStation's 1-minute chart and the daily on the left. So you can see the signal. On the 1-minute, we're executing the actual transaction with the code. We have a small profit if the stop is hit of 30 bucks. You can see the yellow line is our trailing stop, and it moves very quickly depending upon 2 different features, the relative strength levels that it reaches and the price levels. So we're locking in a nice profit at this point, considering it's the micro E-mini, and the trade is working great. Now, I adjusted my trailing stop on purpose to keep it as tight as I could 15 minutes or so ago. So far, so good. And I may try to adjust it again later, depending upon what it's doing. Okay, futures. We have some very interesting situations today, especially in gold and platinum. All right, E-mini, you saw it already. Broad area of support, turning around today, very bullish engulfing. Remember, this is covering the highs now 1, 2, 3 days back. And if perchance this were able to rally above another day back and another day back, you will be adding 3, probably 3, 4, 5 more days. That would be a whopper of a bullish engulfing. Right now, it's pretty damn profound. Next, bullish engulfing NASDAQ, but again, it wasn't oversold as recently as I'd like, and therefore it's not green, but it's about as close to an ER buy signal as I can get. Support held, period. We never broke the neckline on a closing basis, so it could ruin the whole pattern. If it continues, if it goes right back down again, especially today, then we're still in a head and shoulder top situation. But it's 10:15 at the moment, California time, and I think this could be the turn of the indexes today and a rally into new historic highs by the end of the year. Forex. Whoop, I wasn't finished yet. Sorry about that. Next chart. Very oversold conditions in bonds, but we're coming back pretty good. We're not higher on the day. That would be very bullish, and especially if it can get above yesterday's high, then we have a bullish engulfing ER buy signal that will turn the price action green, like some of the indexes I've just showed you, but that hasn't happened yet. It doesn't have to. This could still be a bottom. I need a little more time to be more certain about that, and 10-year notes are looking almost exactly the same. No surprise. This could be a turning point, ladies and gentlemen. Next, crude in support, dropped a little bit below it, but came back nice, like pushing a ping pong ball underwater, and it popped back pretty good. No bullish engulfing. I need to get above yesterday's high if it's going to turn green. But this could be a turning point. Crude may be starting to rally at this point. Next, heating oil. Same kind of comment, except I didn't get what I wanted in terms of the support area holding. But I do like the fact that it's oversold, and now after a new low, it's higher on the day a bit. In order to get a green bar, I got to go all the way up above yesterday's high, which does not look particularly likely. Next chart. Overbought now on natural gas. It's totally the opposite of everything else, petroleum. And in a general area of resistance, I didn't draw the rectangle in here, but I should have, and it's overbought. So we probably are close to a rally high here. And the next move down would be in the ballpark of the low threes and well into the twos, probably. Next chart. Gold, bullish engulfing today, right now. We were oversold for days and days in a row. I told you this market is very close to a turn, and here it is today. I've got no problem proclaiming, so to speak, that this market is turning around, and it's probably, in my opinion, going to rally back up to 1,886, the first area of resistance. And it could potentially move up to 1914, and their next one would be 1941. So this should be a pretty decent rally in the next couple of weeks. Next, no bullish engulfing on silver, but oversold conditions, and very close to a bullish engulfing, and it touched support and is starting to turn around just like we saw back in March of this year. Unfortunately, we don't have a green bullish engulfing, so it would be a repeat almost exactly of last March. I don't necessarily expect such a big rally as we got last March. We've had some fantastic signals in silver in particular this year. Pick the bottom, pick the top, pick the top, pick the bottom, pick the top. Had a complementary new short sell signal just after that. Almost the top, got almost the bottom. That's a lot of goodies since March. Next, platinum has a new bullish engulfing today. Right smack down into the area where it bottomed out before in September of last year, a year ago. Oversold conditions, bullish engulfing, turns our price action green. This is a custom RSI, and it is not exactly the same definition of a bullish engulfing that you would read in books that teach you about Japanese candlesticks. Next chart. Oh, I should say platinum easily, and it almost did it today, should come up to 899. Let's call it 900. So the likelihood of it's coming up to at least 926 and further. Oh, there's an old gap to close, and that got shifted for some damn reason. It should be up here like that, and that gap may now get closed at 970. Next chart. High grade copper, almost, not quite lower than yesterday's low, which would have caused it to turn green. We're already back up to a little resistance, so let's see the upside follow through here. And then we have a good chance of coming up to 38, 3.8, and higher. Next, soybeans. We have support not holding this week. We have basically 3 attempts now to get back up into the support area, and today's rally fizzled terribly after a minor new high for 4 days for the early part of the week, all week, And now it looks like it's about to have a new low close for the move down. It might even get below previous lows before the bell rings. So bearish and very bearish. I have to say, and it's going to take quite a bit of time, that I will not be surprised that in a few months we're going to be down to 1070. Next, on the way down, soybean oil, I talked about this being a double head. It's a double top formation with a ER sell signal on the second high. So that is the head of the formation. It's a double top. There is your first shoulder over here. Here is your last shoulder over here, unfortunately, with a false buy signal. And another false and false. So that's unfortunate, but there's small losses. But the bigger pattern here, and the start of the whole thing was the second high and the double top in the head of the formation, is the breakout. And the breakout on a closing basis took place on September 28th, only a week and a fraction ago. A test of the neckline, didn't close above it. And then down we go. We have a new low for the move, new low for the trend today, and a very small net change higher momentarily. I'm bearish. I'm looking for a move down to 50. Next, very broad, huge head and shoulder top. One of the biggest ones I've seen in years. This one is taking a year and a half, is it? Yeah, a year and a half to form, and is trying to break out as we speak. Now, the problem is it broke out almost, and it's got to be on a closing basis, and today is Friday, and all it has to do is go a little bit lower, and it'll be on a Friday close, a weekly close. But it's not quite there. Near the low, seemingly coming down some more maybe. Tried to make higher highs for a few days. It did it, but it didn't stay there. And now the whole big bearish pattern may be about to break loose. My minimum downside objective on this pattern is about 254. Quite a bit of a move. Next chart. Corn up against resistance, starting to turn down. I think it is turning down, and I think it's going to make new lows in the next week or two. Long-term bearish on corn, just like wheat. Broke out weeks ago to the downside. New lows periodically. Rallies have failed. New lows again a few days ago. I think the rally's failing now. I'm looking for new lows next week. Next chart, live cattle. Trying to have a bullish engulfing, not quite. A little bit of a rally, no particular surprise. We've got some great signals lately, almost the top of the market back on March 1st of 23. Almost the top of the market, again, almost at April 19th, 23. And the rally high for a good break on June 7th, and the rally high on July 20th for a good break, and the rally high, not by much, but a few pennies, a small amount, on September 19th that started the break in progress. I still think we're going to come down to 182, and if that is broken, it gets much more serious on a longer-term bearish basis. Next chart. Hogs bounced off of support yesterday really nicely. Good follow through to the upside. We're now back up into resistance. Nowhere near overbought, so I'm not concerned about it stopping. I think we're going to come right back up to 78, where it was just a couple of weeks ago. Next chart is OJ. I cannot believe this market's doing what it's doing. This is a parabolic runaway bull market, and I have no idea where it's going to stop. That's about all I can say. It keeps getting overbought. It keeps having minor downside corrections, and it keeps making new highs. Wow. I don't know what's behind this bull move in OJ, but I got to switch to tomato juice. Next, cocoa. Almost a bullish engulfing. Maybe it actually is. Today's low is 3.375, and yesterday's low was 3.375. It is no. Today's low is 3.373. 2 ticks below yesterday's low, bullish engulfing, but it was not oversold. Therefore, we do not have a bullish engulfing ER buy signal, but it's pretty close to support. Hey, this could be a turning point for a neckline. Do I have? Yes, I do. This is a trend line, so I can move it around the way I like. This is the neckline on a head and shoulder top. If we only rally back up to approximately 3,600 something, and I have to say 2, maybe 3 weeks from now, and then turn down, you see, this could be the beginning of a maybe a shoulder. We have to rally, stop rallying at around the right point in time and around the right price levels, and then start to turn down, and I will start to scream bloody murder. Head and shoulder top. Next chart. Coffee. Support is trying to hold, not doing a real good job. This looks like it's slowly breaking out to the downside and looks like it could continue to trend lower. And in the sugar market, back up again to a resistance area, nowhere near overbought. Looks like sugar might even make another new high. No sign of a long-term top yet. This is looking like a normal correction in a bull trend. Cotton, sideways, resistance stopped it. A little bounce today. Got to wait to see what happens here. And now I want to, okay, the E-mini is almost high and last right now. I'm going to check to see what the 1-minute charts are doing on the daily data. And we are just about high and last, and we made a new high in the spider. Wow. The spider has made a new high now for the previous 4 trading days. And one of the highest closing prices potentially in the last 2 weeks. I got to tell you, that's not particularly bearish. Let's go look at forex real quick, please. We got some new stuff here. I don't normally cover everyday forex and sectors, but we have an exciting turn in the markets, and that often produces major turns in other things. We have a bullish engulfing today in the euro dollar. So it's turning up. Next chart, dollar Swiss. Overbought, looks like it's going to slip a little bit more. I had to show you that we did have a double bottom with 2 buy signals, and actually 3, but the 2 that count are the lowest lows at the time. And that started this nice move up ever since July. And that would be the dollar Canadian. Swiss, I'm sorry, dollar Swiss. Okay, so for Canada, we have overbought and a bit of a break. Not too much to say here. Big, huge trading range. This is going to be a big bull or bear move once it breaks out of this trading range. And next chart is Japanese yen. I think we've got a signal in this a couple days ago. Yes, we do. Bearish engulfing ER sell signal. Got short 2 days ago. Small profit on the close. Great profit on the next day close, which is yesterday, and this morning's opening, which of course forex, it's only closed a few minutes or a minute or less, except on the weekends. So there's plenty of opportunity to make some money here. Right now, you're back up to where you sold short originally. That is not necessarily good or bad one way or the other. I just need to have this to turn down right away and not go any significant amount higher for any length of time. My fail-safe stop is always in place immediately, remember, but it moves very quickly to the downside depending upon the strategy that you're using and the inputs that you can adjust to make it act more to your suit, to your style, trading style. Next chart is the dollar index. Should be the exact opposite, and it is, and the euro. Bearish engulfing on the US dollar index. Down we go in the dollar index. Australia to the dollar. Bullish engulfing, a little bit of a rally to expect here. Probably back up to some resistance, 0.65. Euro, pound, combination. Doji inside day, nothing happening much, a little bit lower. Looks like it could drift off a little bit more. We got overbought and then flip-flop back down again. I don't have too much to say. Big sideways trading range. Actually kind of boring. And lastly, for the forex pound dollar, bullish engulfing 2 days ago, working great. Also, we got a sell signal almost at the high day and a low signal almost at the low day. Oh, that one was a great one going back to September 28th to 22. This looks pretty bullish, people. This is the pound against the dollar. British pound going back up again. Probably, well, that's nothing. Probably back up toward 1.25. And let's look lastly at sectors. I'll go through it pretty quickly. Oversold condition, probably going to rally at support for the, what is this? The S&P retail. And I'm going to go jump to the top of the list here. GDX, and this is gold. We're turning up. No shocker. We're getting buy signals in the futures. Next chart would be ITB, almost a bullish engulfing, oversold condition, probably turning up. Next chart, IYE, bullish engulfing today, brand new buy signal. Looks like this is going to start to rally very, very nicely. Small gap to close. No particular substantial resistance. May come back up quite a bit. Next chart. KBE is trying to turn around. Oversold conditions causing a rally. Nice. Don't have a lot of faith in this yet. Next. Bullish engulfing, brand new today. Starting to turn up. OIH. Oil services. Next. Bullish engulfing on the bottom already a week and a half ago, and now a new high, probably also on a closing basis. That picked the bottom, and it's working very, very nicely. Next chart, VNQ. Today, brand new bullish engulfing. Look how many of these indexes are starting to show signs of bottoming out, including the actual stock market indexes. No surprise. You should find new bullish buy signals because, excuse me, a lot of stuff is starting to turn back up. Next, XBH, bullish signal again. And this is the home builders index sector. Looking good. We had a false buy signal. Sometimes these things occur 2 or 3 or even 4 times during a bottoming out process. I'm not surprised. I think this is going to be a very good one. Next. Starting to rally. Not too much to say here. A gap to close at higher levels back here about 2-3 weeks ago. That looks likely. Next. And we're almost finished. XLE, bullish signal today. Gaps to close at higher level. It's turning up. Next. Oversold causing the rally. Probably rally a little bit more. Remember, I don't have to have a bullish green or bearish red signal in order to produce up or down moves. It may be the result of other patterns and overbought, oversold conditions, a variety of things. But I love it when my system points out, unless you're colorblind, exactly what to do and where to put your stop so you don't get hurt if the signal doesn't work. Next chart is green bullish engulfing today, XLI, and this is the Spider Industrial Fund. I'm not sure what's in this thing, but it's turning up. Next, minor upside breakout, probably going to rally some more. Did get pretty oversold, so no surprise. Next, way oversold. Got all the way down to 12.21. That's pretty darn low, but we're not there anymore. That's the level at the low of the day. We are almost at the high of the day after gapping down this morning and having a big down day yesterday. So we covered a lot of ground real quick. This looks like exhaustion weakness. Only if I get above yesterday's high, which looks very difficult to do, probably is not going to happen, then it'll turn green. But right now, I'm just claiming exhaustion gap, exhaustion weakness, extreme oversold condition, probably turning back up. And then we've got XLY, bullish engulfing. Look how many of these bullish engulfings today. Very important. Next. Nice rally, not too much to say. New downside breakout, didn't stay there, so hit support and rallied up. Oversold, rallying, typical, no surprise. Got some red at the top of the market. That's very, very nice. And a little green at the beginning of a rally. It only lasted 3 days, but that was good money. Show me the money. Next, last one, XRT. Almost a bullish engulfing today. It'll turn green if we get above yesterday's high. Came down in support. This could be a very good signal. It's looking pretty optimistic right now about being bullish, but I'd love to see it turn green, meaning it has to rally above yesterday's high, which is not far away. Thank you for your time. You guys have a great weekend. Profitable trading to you.